So Marco Asensio is going to miss Real Madrid's opening Champions League clash with Apoel Nicosia because he has a pimple. Yep, we're not lying about this. The Spanish sensation is seriously going to miss a game of football because he's managed to get a spot infected while shaving his legs. We're going to guess that Ronaldo told him to do this so that he wouldn't steal the spotlight, get it, from him. Anyway, it's a hilarious reason why he's injured, and even his boss Zinedine Zidane was laughing about it. And that has got us thinking about some other players who were injured for completely bonkers reasons. So with that being said, let's get onto our list. Number 1, Coke Trouble. So Jari Litmanen was a childhood hero of mine because he was excellent without having to run all over the place, showing lazy buggers like myself that we could be a footballer. However, in spite of Litmanen's talents, he was always on the receiving end of injuries, and this one was just really unfortunate. It involved some coke, an eyelid and a sporting director, which sounds like an interesting night out to be honest. Anyway, while at Malmo in 2005, Litmanen was sat next to the club's sporting director who was about to open a can of coke. Incredibly, the ring flew off the can when he opened it and hit the Finnish legend in the eye and in fact lodged right in his cornea. Litmanen missed loads of game time in August and scuppered Malmo's plans of making it to the Champions League proper. In fact, this isn't the only time that Litmanen was involved in a really bizarre accident. While at Fulham, the reserve team goalkeeper kicked the ball so hard against the back of his head that he was out cold and missed months and months of game time, eventually never actually playing a first team match for Fulham in the Premier League. Number 2, pain in the balls. Okay, so this one might not exactly be SFW, but it is way too funny not to include. So after a season of being lumped on the bench by your boss, you're finally starting to get some more game time. Great! So how do you celebrate? Well, you and the missus decide to push the beds together and enjoy a bit of long ball action. If you know what I mean. If you catch my drift. If you get what I'm shooting for. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Anyway, in the middle of the entertainment, Chilean forward Emilio Hernandez managed to tip a pot of boiling water all over his nads. Seriously, how, where and why would you be doing anything near a boiling pot of water? He suffered some pretty nasty scalds and missed 2 weeks of action both off and on the pitch, and found himself back on the bench until he moved the following year. Oddly, since the accident, or maybe he's a bit kinky and into that sort of thing, he hasn't scored that often. In fact, he's only scored 10 times, which is a bit of a kick in the balls if you think about it. Number 3, celebration to relegation. So back in 2008, Real Betis needed their star striker Sergio Garcia to continue scoring goals if they had any hope of staying in La Liga. And when it came to an April clash with fellow strugglers Numancia, all eyes were on him to score some goals. Well, he did. Inside just 10 minutes he put Betis ahead with a really composed finish. Now the job isn't done and your team needs you to keep going and scoring for another 80 minutes, but you want to celebrate in style. So you go for a knee slide like you used to do at the school discos instead of talking to girls, because you know, girls were gross back then. But instead of pulling it off in style, you actually manage to tear the ligaments in your knee and you're out for the rest of the season. If you think that's bad, how about your team gets relegated on goal difference, something which your goals could have prevented? Oh, and it gets worse because Betis didn't even win the game that he scored in, they managed to draw it 3-3. What a stinker. Number 4, dirty dancing. So things for Adil Rami aren't too bad at the moment, to be honest. He's going out with Pamela Anderson, he's playing in Marseille, and he's learned his lesson never to dance again. You might think that we're pretty weird for saying that, but he managed to annoy pretty much everyone at Valencia because he got himself injured while dancing. Rami claimed he was unable to attend training due to having some nasty blisters. Hey, we get it, those things suck. However, Rami had to go to a charity event and he managed to get himself up on stage and partook in some Gangnam style dancing. I guess it was 2013, what else was he going to do? Anyway, he managed to aggravate his bad feet and went on to miss 3 games for Valencia and was labelled a complete idiot by fans, which, let's be honest, is pretty fair. And number 5, PlayStation strikes again. Oddly, putting the blame on video game consoles for causing injury and making players miss training is nothing new. While David James is well known for his PlayStation escapades, our favourite story has to be that of Alessandro Nesta, one of the greatest defenders of all time. It turns out that the Italian loved to play a bit of FIFA with his busy mate Andrea Pirlo. In fact, in Pirlo's book, which is well worth a read by the way, the bearded wonder claimed that he had an epic rivalry with Nesta over the game and how they would fit in at least 2 hours every single morning of FIFA. Oh, and then after they'd been training, they would come back and play some more. something which Pirlo described as a sacrifice of life. Anyway, Nesta played so much PlayStation during his time at Milan that he managed to strain his wrist and rupture one of his tendons in his thumb and missed a whole month of action because of it. Which, let's be honest, that is the best way to get injured. And that's our list. Do you know of any other crazy injuries? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like and share this video and hit that subscribe button to join Team Footy Feed right now. Thanks for watching and we'll catch you all next time.